Hello, hello. I think we're streaming. We are live. I'm going to play some music. I'm going to play some music until Guddah arrives. Dubs. Nothing but dubs. Yo. Just let things warm up a little while. I think Guddah is gonna send over a bunch of people. I'm not too sure. Not too sure how this is gonna work, but I'm just gonna sit here listening to lovely music. I'd have put up a few links in the chat for all the cool things that we are doing. Yes, people. I can see there's a few people now joined. You're listening to some brand new music here from Fawn. Forthcoming on One More Thing in December. No, yeah. November. Hello there. Go on, cool. Brilliant. Awesome. Great to have people involved. Let me know if you can hear me. Yes, Ivy. Yes, Loose Wires. Yes, Red Army. Yes, DJ Spade. This is wicked. So I'm just gonna entertain you until Guddah comes along. I need to make sure that I'm watching my Zoom so I can admit him in the chat. Too many screens open. You can't hear me? Oh no. Yes, you cannot hear me. Please do let me know if you can hear me. I'll let you know when I'm Brilliant. I'm trying to work out what to play you next. I got so much amazing music to play you. All forthcoming on One More Thing. This is wicked. I know where we're going to go next. Actually, I know something I am going to do. Like, I get so paranoid over whether people can hear me or not because I'm so new to this. So I'm really, really confused. Okay, Ivy, yeah, we've spoken a few times. Don't want to press stop, but want to make sure that people can hear me as well. So I can tell you who's behind this amazing music. Brilliant, thank you. What I'm going to do, let's turn that down slightly, is put Fawn's details up in the chat. Here we go. Yes, Lauren, go on. So there we go, this is Fawn. And yeah, we've got a whole EP coming out from this guy about 6 weeks time. This track is called Cycles. Beautiful, right? Absolutely beautiful. So his socials are in the chat now. Criminally underfollowed, brand new artist from South Africa, but now living in Scotland. Amazing sounds, absolutely amazing sounds. Now onto something from Australia. So this is Tassoni. This one's coming out in December. I'm talking to an MC as well about some potential bars on this. Really interesting fusion of tunes. So obviously everybody here now, what the hell? There's 30 of you on here. I think that's the most I've ever had on a stream. So now I'm really scared that I'm going to lose you all before Guddah comes. So please hang around, make yourself known in the chat. Let me put up Tassoni's socials as well for you to follow on here. Tassoni is an absolute badass DJ. Okay, Guddah's going to be here in 5 minutes. There we go. And what we do, like normally every other Wednesday at exactly this time, really similar setup, but without Guddah being interviewed, I just play loads of demos, completely unreleased music. Probably one of the coolest things that's happened so far since I decided to start streaming. Like the amount of quality that's out there is amazing. The community of you lot, brilliant. Again, sidetracked by the interesting chat there. Like, you guys have been amazing. The community is amazing. And I'm really enjoying the demo drop. Some really interesting things have happened. Perhaps if before Guddah comes along, we might listen to one more tune, which isn't coming out on One More Thing. I don't know where it's going to come out, but I would very much like to help him get it out because the story behind it is absolutely amazing. Hold on, let me turn this up. This one really purrs through a big rig. If you like your 4/4s, then you'll like this. Yeah, it is. It's hard to put your finger on what exactly it is. Like, oh, I thought the beats were going to kick in then. Yes, Sean. Yes, X3M, Bozzy. Yes, the Tranquilla Ghost. Yes, Bass Reflex. Big up, like, all of you. Absolutely all of you in the chat, staying strong. Waiting for this moment that was supposed to happen exactly a year ago. Me and Guddah were going to do this interview a year ago. Lots of complications. I had quite a few domestic issues that meant I couldn't do the interview. We did do an interview, but it was a bit stop-start and my editing was rubbish. But this is way better now. This has had a whole year. I've been a full-time Twitch streamer. Brilliant. So we've got cool people on, we've got people on YouTube, loads of you on Twitch, and people watching on Facebook. This is amazing. Making sure there's no rogue sounds. This is really a wicked track. Nice bit of 4/4. Oh no, that's not the way to do it. I've just minimized my zoom window and I think you've lost me. There we go. Is that any better? I've completely lost myself now. Right. And I think we'll do one more tune. We're going to do one more tune. I won't do the other one because I don't know if I've got permission to play it. And it was such a mad story. There we go. I'll play this one instead. Just after this little build up. Wow, 34 of you over from Twitch now. This is amazing. Thank you. This is coming out really soon. The 21st of October, which marks exactly a year. It's by Tia Kahoo. And exactly a year before, he and Flo Anastasia launched their yo, Guddah, don't worry about ending your stream. Right, there was this is the most I've ever seen from Twitch. Even when we were doing Sun and Bass streams, I don't think there was this many of you watching. So this is amazing, absolutely amazing. And I'm glad that you're all sticking around and putting up with my dubs. This is Tikahoo. This marks a year. Yes, Show Goose. Oh no, it's not Show Goose. I was gonna say hello. They launched their tour, which was their honeymoon as well, on a boat party that I did. Oh right, Guddah's in the Zoom. Okay, so bear with me one sec. Quite majestic music there for the arrival of Mr. Guddah, but I know he can't hear it. And I think I've gone, right, where can I go? Here we go. Is that okay? Are we all right?
Hello,
how are you doing?
Hello, all right, you?
Yeah, I'm not bad. Did you have a nice little break between your stream and this stream?
I had a nice nap.
A nice little nap. I can't nap because I'm too scared that I'm going to fall asleep and like ruin the rest of my already rubbish sleeping pattern.
That's why you have That's why you have an alarm clock with your partner who will just wake you.
Even if you're in really deep sleep and then you're feeling even more tired for the rest of the day.
Right. Yeah. Well, it depends. I couldn't be more tired than I was earlier. So I've learned with napping, if I nap too long, that it's too bad. But there's a good time frame of wake me up and we'll be good to go.
Yeah, it's why people have a lot of it's why a lot of countries have a culture of a siesta, like a little break, a little recharge and stuff like that. How's your health been anyway? Like, you know, kind of mentally and stuff like that. Like, life is challenging in the 21st century, isn't it?
It is. Mental health is a lot better than it's it's been for probably a long time, to be fair. Physical health, probably not so much, but that's something I'm getting to grips with slowly as I'm now self-employed technically. Going from working physical jobs all my life to then just being at home all the time certainly has its differences. Yeah. And I've certainly put on a little bit of weight, but I've always been a big guy anyway, so it's not too noticeable.
I can relate. I mean, the self-employment factor is the reason why we're talking. It's the reason why exactly a year ago to this day, I was blown away by, I was unaware of you before, ignorant to your existence and your actions before. Now I'm so glad that I'm completely up to speed on all things Guddah and the amazing things you've been doing for years now on Twitch. That move from the previous jobs that you just spoke of to jumping into this full time as a freelance creative myself, like, I can relate to a certain degree, but I mean, you're even more unique in the way that this is your full time job, is mixing online, and the fact that you enjoy it more than experiences that you'd had as a club DJ makes this story even more inspiring and even more beautiful, and it brings in everybody who's here in the chat and stuff like that now, like this is an amazing story. Before we even start, like, just huge props to you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Cool. Let's go back to exactly a year ago. Can you remember that day, that first kind of stream where it's like, right, this is it, I'm self-employed now? You'd already been doing Twitch for quite some years, developed this amazing community, empowered you to get you to this stage. How did you feel exactly a year ago?
Scared. I was excited but scared because I kind of quit my job kind of forcefully to go full time. I'd been on the sick for 6 months at this point, and my sick pay had run out, and it was like, I'm not ready to go back to work yet. And there's no point me getting another job. There's no point me going to get another job to start fresh there when there's this whole thing in front of me that I can grab by the hands and fucking just go for it. Yeah. And it wasn't the most sensible of decisions. We were definitely not in the best financial position to do that, but it was the best decision, I think, to make. I say best decision, maybe not, but it was the best decision to take that leap into being full time. And yeah, it was scary. It was really scary.
I bet. Really scary. It is. I mean, is there ever a good time to do it? I think most people, there is that. It's the leap of faith, really, isn't there? Where it's like, if you don't know now, and it was advice given to me when I walked away from UKF to launch One More Thing, if you don't do it, you're always going to regret. You're always going to wonder why, really, aren't you? And when you kind of have that perspective on it, there's no going back, really. You have to try it.
It's not that there's ever a right time, but there could have been a better time, I guess. But I will say this straight now. First thing I'll say is big up to my partner. If it wasn't for her support and giving me the belief behind me doing it, then I wouldn't have taken that step. I wasn't in a position to do that personally. Yeah.
Yeah, big up all supportive partners. I mean, I'll big up mine, but I put out so much content into the universe. She doesn't really watch much of it, or she might hear me downstairs or something like that. But I mean, we're blessed to have somebody like a rock in our lives in that type of way, really, isn't it? And I think that's such an important thing to acknowledge, that none of these decisions are ever taken lightly and are never taken alone, really, isn't it?
No.
Does she like drum and bass? She must be a fan of drum and bass then, to have it played in the house all of the time.
She's not a fan per se. Like, she's not deep into it. She won't go out looking for artists or go to events and stuff on her own. But she likes it now after 10 years of us being together.
Brilliant. You've kind of worn her down with 174 BPM beats.
Well, she comes from more of a classic rock metal background. And there was tastes of drum and bass that she liked with Pendulum and stuff, but then there was never really anything more than that.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of took over. Well, not took over. My influence took over, and my influences definitely rub off on her as well. She loves neurofunk. That's the great thing. That's the main thing for me.
Brilliant. I think the crossover between metal and neurofunk is probably the strongest crossover point between those two musical worlds. The energy and the thrust. There's so many people I've spoken to who've come from metal. I came from metal as well, but I came via kind of hardcore and rave and stuff like that before drum and bass. But that crossover point, neuro and metal, are very good bedfellows, aren't they?
Yes, definitely are.
And that was your first musical love as well, wasn't it? Like metal, long before this, long before Guddah was even an apple in your eye.
Maybe my first own love. I was brought up, my brother's 9 years older than me, so he was massive on Clubland and Happy Hardcore and stuff. And when I was like 10, 11 years old, I loved Happy Hardcore because that's what I'd been brought up with. And then I went from Happy Hardcore to like black metal, not death metal, just straight to the opposite, to black metal, to the heaviest of metals, and then kind of weaned myself into the softer stuff. That it was kind of my own first love, but not the first love of music I had, but it was the first decision I'd made in my own music. My family were like, "What the fuck? How do you like this?"
Yeah.
So it was quite a transition.
Yeah, I love that as well. It's the decision, it's that first decision, because music, certainly then when you're that age, it's one of the first decisions you can have complete control over yourself, and it defines you in that type of way. And I think things have changed a little bit. Music doesn't seem quite so tribal. I was literally talking to High Contrast about this about 2 hours ago. Music doesn't seem quite so tribal, but I think when you're that age and you're making those decisions, it's so empowering, isn't it? So I completely understand. It's like, no, this is my music, this is me now, and it's what you control. And wow. So when we first did this interview, like, I've known you for a year now, and we've spoken many times and stuff, and you've helped me out. I asked you loads of really daft questions, and now I know how you got into Twitch and stuff like that. So I don't have to ask you so many daft questions. Most of the people watching here are on Twitch, so they know how it works as well. But I do want to capture that moment when you first started venturing into Twitch, because you are now doing this, and you've done this for other people as well. You're doing it for me, where you showed an interest, you got into it, you kind of found it not long after you'd watched the documentary that I was involved in. And people welcomed you with open arms and really brought you into the community. And I think that's something, when we're talking about your Twitch journey and the journey over the last few years to how you got to this point, that's imperative, really. That's really important, and I think really inspiring, and a great reflection of how unique the Twitch community is.
Yeah, that's the thing for me, and why I do what I do is I was welcomed in with such open arms, so warmly, immediately. I'd never really felt anything like that. Like, I'd been into communities, but there'd never been such the whole communities being so welcoming and so just so excited to help other people out. And that's something I've tried to always do moving forward, is when people come in and welcome them in and just help them out as much as I can. Because I just want to keep paying that love forward and keep trying to give that same excitement that I felt when I first started and give that feeling to someone else. Because it's insane. Even now, the community is massive, and it might not be as close knit as it was back then, but that's because it's grown by tenfold easily. Easily, there was 40 members in Team Drum and Bass at that time when I started, and there's easily over 500 people. There's easily over 500 people
Wow.
now, easily over 500 DJs who play drum and bass on Twitch. Not necessarily in the same community, but
Mm,
in the whole Twitch DJ community, there's so many people. So it's never going to be as tight as it was back then.
yeah.
And I've learned that. I kind of got to me at points that it was never going to be like that again. But I it's a new world now. It's a Twitch. Nothing will ever be like COVID Twitch was, because COVID was everyone was locked at home, no one had anywhere to go, and you're forcefully there basically. Like
Yeah.
people were there every day of the week. People are still there every day of the week. But yeah, it's a totally different world now.
It was a unique moment in time, really, wasn't it? And hopefully, one like I think now a lot of people remember some of the better aspects of it, really. But and obviously, a lot of people were off work and on furlough and things like that. So there were things that people are always going to remember fondly there. But I mean, that was probably as influential or epoch defining as, let's say, like wars and stuff like that for previous our grandparents or great grandparents generations and stuff. Those couple of years were unique in that type of way, but loads and loads of silver linings came about for it, including your journey.
Yeah, for me, it was like I was having the time of my life. It felt weird because I see a lot of people struggling, going through some really terrible things, not knowing what's happening with their life, losing jobs and everything. And then there was me. I was just having the time of my life. I was still working every day, so I was still out the house every day of the week. Well, near enough. And nothing really changed in that aspect for me. And then I found Twitch, and it was just like, it was just, it was just insane. It was purely insane. But like I say, a lot of people had a really bad time during that time. So it's a weird contrast.
Mm,
But
yeah.
I will say that year was genuinely some of the best year, well, probably the best year of my life. That first year on Twitch, it's been good since, but there's been a lot of mental health stuff, and that was before all the mental health stuff, and it was just you couldn't stop me doing what I was doing at the time, and that's why I fell so in love with it.
Wow. So you were working as well, and you weren't furloughed and stuff like that. What
No,
was your job?
I, I, I was a rubber tester.
Like a rubber, as in not an eraser, then, but as in the kind of
So you're
compound.
you're English, and that's where or you're Welsh or British. That's where your first
Mm.
thought goes to. All the Americans think I tested condoms for a living, but and that's why I always say it is I'm a rubber tester. Now, basically, the company I work for produce like shock absorbers and stuff, and we mix all the rubber on site, and I would take samples of all the rubber and quality test it and pass it off for usage, really.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so a complete other universe compared to where you're at now. At that time, when you had that job, could you imagine this type of scenario or any
No,
type of daily
no.
scenario that you find yourself in?
Right. December 2019, I was watching Twitch before COVID and everything. I was watching Twitch, and there's a game I play, Escape from Tarkov. They were having an event where you had to watch streamers to get drops in the game. And I was watching
Right.
this guy called Pesterly because it was this big event. Everyone kind of went to his channel, and there was 120,000 people watching. And he
Wow.
said he's contracted to press the ad button 3 times an hour, and every time he presses it, he gets $100 basically because of how many people he had in. And
Wow.
I went back to work in January, and I was like, this is fucking mental. There's people online watching people play games, and he's earning this much money. He's earning $300 an hour just pressing the button for ads, let alone everything else. And I went
Wow.
back to work that January before COVID and said, look, Twitch is mental. This is absolutely wild. People are watching people play games. And then a year later, I'm in it myself, and I'm earning money, and I'm DJing from home. And it was just wild.
Wow.
Never in a million years did I expect that. No,
So you
no, you
came
could.
into it, so you were aware of Twitch and came into it through a gaming context then, which is how Twitch exists and why it was first kind of founded in that way. The music thing has been a kind of happy
Mhm.
addition, I guess, when it exploded during COVID and stuff like that. So you came into Twitch with a gaming, you were aware of that. Well, let's get a bit
Mhm.
of your DJ history prior to Twitch, because you were playing in clubs and stuff like that. You've been DJing for years and years, haven't you?
My DJ history is a bit weird. Yeah, I've been DJing since what 2009. So it's 15 years this year I've been
Wow.
DJing now. And whilst it was never something I really wanted to pursue, I was always happy playing gigs. I had like late night bar in my hometown. I was resident DJ there, playing all fucking pop music, 90s nights, R&B nights and stuff, because it was just easy money in my hometown. And then I've had my fair share of gigs playing support for things. And I had a residency in 2018 at a club in Northampton, actually. Funnily enough, the guy who got me that gig has just gone into Big Brother. He's in the Big Brother house. It's really weird.
Wow. Wow.
The weird connection. I just had to mention that because I never thought I'd be watching Big Brother in 2024, but I've watched the past 3 nights because the guy who got me the gig in Northampton is on Big Brother. That's a whole different story.
Yeah,
but
I'm shocked I didn't even know that Big Brother still existed.
It's not something I've ever thought about for years until my mate hastily messaged me the other day, like, Ryan's on Big Brother. What's going on?
Oh, go on. Good luck to him.
But yeah, I actually had a residency at this student club in Northampton for a year, playing every Friday to like 500 to 800 people. It was really weird, but that really made me fall out of love with DJing. And before Twitch, I hadn't DJed for about 18 months because I fell out of love with it. I was still massively into drum and bass, and I was going to gigs like once or twice a month just on my own. But in terms of DJing, I thought that was kind of it for me then.
Wow.
It was just on the back burner.
So a lot of people would think, I mean, I can count on probably two hands, maybe my feet as well, but how many times I played to like 800 people? That's a big crowd. That's a room full of people, and that's a lot of DJs' dream. But the reality of that, keeping those people on the dance floor, especially if it's a slightly more commercial club, unless you're really enjoying playing commercial sounds, you're going to have to compromise. Be an entertainer rather than a selector and stuff. So I think it's really interesting to hear that kind of put you off DJing in a way.
Well, no, the thing with that residency was it was actually still playing like bass music. It was playing garage, bass line, drum and bass and stuff because it was a student night every Friday. But it was the promoters was a bit like the people who ran the club were a bit shit, and there was a lot of stress with it. And it wasn't me turning up to play a set, like a 1 hour set. It was me and my mate playing 6 hours every Friday, trying to keep this whole student club. It was just us trying to keep the whole club full. And that's not what I really want as a drum and bass DJ. I want to come play a set and be done with it sort of thing. It's like, I want to spend my hour or probably 10 hours now doing my thing as opposed to playing the entire night and curating the entire night. That wasn't really my thing.
Yeah, there's a hell of a lot more pressure and commitment and responsibility there. It takes a lot of the fun and the performative aspects out of it in that type of way. And it was something that you said to me, you said in a few conversations, you know, that there wasn't the connection with the crowd as well. Whereas it's really clear here. I mean, I'm getting distracted by it, and I don't know how you're able to reply to comments while we're having this conversation. Maybe because I'm holding it, so you just have to wait for my questions. But you're able to reply to people while you're talking and stuff like that. Like I'm just looking, it's like, how am I going to acknowledge all these people commenting and stuff? So I mean, but it's really clear. What I wanted to say is, it's really clear that you've got, you know, all of these people are here to hear your story, to support you. The connection that you've made with people is completely different online, isn't it?
That's the great thing about Twitch, and someone said it to me early on, and I've always stood by it. Twitch allows the DJ to get closer to the listener than ever before. It's having that connection while you're playing. Not everyone does it the same. That's the great thing about it. Everyone can do their own thing, and it might not work for one person, it might not work for another, but it can work for other people. But being able to talk and DJ and have that connection, even though it's on a monitor, I'm not seeing any faces, I'm seeing all these names. Having that connection has brought us closer to the listeners than ever before.
Yeah. It's brilliant. I mean, it's because I think what's inspired me about Twitch, and I'm slowly getting into it, you're holding my hand and bringing me through it. I think a point's kind of dragging me through it a little bit, is because I find that so many online communities get so toxic. Like I've recently left all drum and bass groups, 174 drum and bass heads, all of them. I've left them, and I feel a lot better because I'm not seeing crappy opinions that I don't care about. But I'm seeing just nothing but positivity and people who really give a shit. I mean, I saw some drum and bassics that said something really, really kind of complimentary to both of us here. And I'm not used to such a positive online community. Maybe maybe that's just a drum and bass thing, but coming from the forums like years and years ago, they were
Yeah.
horrible places. Like, you know,
I never experienced that years and years ago. I was never deep in the forums. I'm a bit younger than probably people who did experience dogs and acid and stuff, but I heard a lot of stories. I heard a lot of stories. But the thing with Twitch is like there are dickheads. There has been shit. There has been drama and stuff like that. There is drama. There are cliques, but as a whole, everyone's just so fucking nice. And something if something does happen and there are dickheads, everyone's like, no, you can get out of here. And
yeah.
the thing is, as a streamer, I have the individual power. One of my mods do have the individual power to ban people. So if something does happen, you can just get rid of them.
Bosh, bye
And
bye.
I'm not saying that everyone should just ban everyone for the first bit of negativity, which is something I really go against. If something negative does happen, I try and talk about it. But it's all down to that person on the screen and that streamer, and that's the community they create. If if I'm nice and I do what I do, that generally creates a nice community. I've
Yeah.
seen people who are dickheads on stream, and the chat does get a bit riled up, and that's what their community is. But that's cool. They're doing their thing over there.
Leading
It
by
doesn't.
example,
Yeah.
totally, yeah. And you're setting you set the tone on how you want things to be conducted in that way, and that brings me really nicely to at what point did you start to bring in the extra special kind of aspects of what you do? I know, I think to
Oh,
begin with, it might have been cooking food, maybe cooking a meal might have been the
uh,
first kind of
immediate,
unusual stream
immediately,
that you did immediately.
uh, immediately, literally. The thing with Twitch is, thing for me is no one could tell me no. I could have these stupid ideas. Sorry, someone told me to ban them, so I banned them. Because it was part of the joke. But no one could tell me no. And my 500 follower goal, because we kind of set goals for things to happen. My
Mm.
500 follower goal was to do my first ever beats and eats, and that happened in August 2020, and I started on June 1st, 2020. So within 2 months, it was already like, let's do something stupid.
Wow.
And I think I did my first 24-hour stream a few months later, and it was just kind of it just evolved quickly. Yeah, like I say, I was just having the time of my life. I didn't really think about things. It was just, oh, we can do this, and let's do it.
Wow, that's brilliant. Just complete freedom, complete freedom. And I guess when you're
No,
in that mindset, it doesn't matter what type of audience you've got because you're doing it for a laugh anyway. You're doing it to fulfill your own curiosity on whether it could be done or not, or whether you want to do it. So whether
yeah,
people are watching or not, the fact that people are watching and engaging with it is like a bonus, really, and spurs you on, I
yeah,
guess.
that's what I've always said. Like, no one can tell me no, but these lot support me in what I do, and that's the thing. Online, people like people being idiots online, right? That's the whole culture of like TikTok and everything now. People support the people being idiots.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's more relatable content, like he's DJing drum and bass, but then he's going to do something like cook at the same time. And it wasn't like it was just I'm going to cook a small meal. I'm going to cook a spaghetti bolognese or something. Me
Yeah.
being me was just like, I'm going well over the top with this and I'm going to cook a stupid feast of food. Also, notable mention to Dan inside D&B there. I
Yeah.
watched that stream too. We watched John B once did a jet washing stream where he was just jet washing his driveway, and he had like 80 people watching him jet wash, and we were just like,
Wow. Was it a particularly grubby driveway though? Was it quite aesthetically pleasing to watch him wash away all the grime?
I can't quite remember. I just remember watching John B jet washing his driveway, talking away. I've seen he takes his stream down the allotment sometimes, and it would just be John down the allotment, like
Brilliant.
it's
I
just wild.
I guess that's just like, you know, we're interested. I think people fundamentally, and it's something that I've learned over years and years of making content and doing interviews, is that fundamentally people are interested in honesty and authenticity when you're being real. I think you can really tell when someone's not kind of being their authentic self or not completely comfortable. And I think with things like that, especially like John is the best example because he's a really nice, genuine person and he doesn't hide behind anything there. When he, you know, like he's really passionate about his things. He embraces his weirdness and his nerdiness. And so lots of like-minded nerds like yourself, like me, like everybody else in the chat, like identifies that. It's like, right, okay, like when people are just being their natural selves, I think is really important. You can tell, can't you, without even realizing it's something you can't even put your finger on. Authenticity is something quite tangible, I think.
I think that was what was key to my success is I'd never truly felt like I could be myself in my life because I lived in a pub for 18 years. So I was working behind when I turned 18, I was working behind the bar and it was interacting
Wow.
with all the people in the pub. So it was talking about football and bit laddie kind of vibe. And then all the work I'd done was factory work and stuff. So similar kind of vibe to the pub. It was all people who watch football and stuff like that. I was very good at communicating with them because I keep up to date with it, but it wasn't really my thing. But I did it for the work relationship and was part of that. So when I came to Twitch and I could just be myself and let that stupid side of me out, that crazy side of me out, and have people support that, it just kept going from there. I just let more out and let more out. And there was points when I was like, I've never felt so like myself and been able to be so open about things and
Oh, I
get
love
support
that.
for it. Yeah, it's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing.
I think that's beautiful. I think and again, that's a real blessing. Not everybody gets to kind of feel that, and we hide behind these masks all of the time, don't we? To kind of, to blend in or to fit in with a work scenario or a family scenario or just a general social living scenario.
Mhm.
So to have that kind of realization or that feeling of complete freedom, that's a real rarity, and that's something to be
Yeah,
cherished. And this was happening long before you made the decision to make this your job or anything.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was part of the reason why I felt like I could do this and could take it further because I could just be myself. And whilst that was really scary at points, like I'd never really seen that true person in myself. I never knew who that person was because I'd always been so shrouded by trying to keep up with the people I was around.
Yeah.
It was exciting to see what there was, like what I could do. And I might have pushed it a bit too far at points and pushed myself too far at points, but
Literally
it's
about to ask that, like, where have you felt that? Where's because everybody's got a line as well. Then like, where was the line? Where was it? Where did you feel like, like, well, you pushed yourself a little bit too much, or asked yourself a little bit too much, and tried to do too many things? Maybe stream for too long, or
uh,
cook something too outrageous and fuck it all up.
the
I don't know.
the thing is, I say it now, and this is why I'm excited about what's happening at the moment. I didn't get to that point. Sorry, just fucking had a fly hit me in the face. Um, I didn't get to that point because my mental health started to go shit to shit before I could get too far with it because of what was going on with my day job.
Right.
So whilst I
Right.
was trying to push myself to do these things, my mental health was slowly getting worse because of the stress from my day job, and it never really allowed me to get to that point. And that's why to celebrate 10,000 followers a couple of weeks ago, I was like, right, fuck it, let's get back to the madness. I'm going to stream for 10,000 minutes because that's the logical idea. And I just want to get back into that madness of and finding out where is that limit in myself.
Wow. Wow. And that, I mean, that scuppered you because of, I think it was internet and possibly weather. There were weather conditions as
Well,
well.
yeah, we didn't get off to a good start. The storm, I've never seen so many storms in the UK for so long. It was like just 4 or 5 days of storms straight. So that kind of ruined the start of it, and I had to adapt to that. But then my internet died on Wednesday for 9 hours, which kind of, when you're trying to do a long stream like that, that kind of puts you off. Then it happened again on Friday. But because it was a stream where I'd just gone, I'm going to stream for 10,000 minutes, it's not like there was no obligation from the other side with previous events that you may not know about, like doing a subathon where they gift subscriptions and it adds time to a timer.
Right.
There was no obligation from the other side of people have paid for me to go this long. It was all I'm just going to do this. So it kind of allowed me to be adaptable and not be too angry that the internet went down and stuff. Not feel like I had to fully hit that 10,000 because there's no paid obligation there as such.
Right. Yeah. You'd set that yourself. It's a personal challenge rather than a kind of a feat or something, or like trying to pass a level if you want to gamify it in a way. I want to know because everybody in the chat here has been well aware of you for much longer than I have. So if anybody in the chat can bring up their favorite good memories or kind of projects that he's done and streams. So because I think if I ask you for the funniest moment or the hairiest moment, quite often your mind just goes completely blank. But having people saying something in kind of bringing up memories is going to trigger stuff. So Mankini straight in there, Red Army Audio, and there's a burger there as well. So look, I want to know about the Mankini. Where to start, really?
There's so many moments. That's the great thing. There's just been so many stupid moments. There's been too many stupid moments. The Mankini, people, Shogo C actually was probably the main instigator with this. People, because I'd done like hot tub streams, there became this whole hot tub meta on Twitch where there were girls in scantily clad like clothing doing hot tub streams, and it was a way that they were trying to get around the rules of Twitch. Twitch actually made a pools, beaches, and hot tub category for them to go into as like their own category. It's kind of like softcore porn, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And because I'd done it, I was like, if you can't beat them, let's fucking join them. So I got my green screen out, borrowed Emma's bikini, and I was doing like bikini hot tub streams. But then people kept on asking for a Mankini stream. They kept on asking and kept on. I'm someone who's never been interested in wearing a Mankini. Yeah, I'd wear a bikini, but different thing, right? I'd never been interested in wearing a Mankini stream, so I just set a goal like, right, if we hit 1,000 subs, I'll do a Mankini stream, and we did, we did, and
I mean, 1,000 subs. So can I ask a personal question now? Because I don't understand. I am able to be an affiliate now on Twitch. I haven't really got to that level, and I'm not on Twitch regularly enough. I haven't looked at the monetizing thing yet. But 1,000 subs, what is that in? Like, how much did you get?
It was a lot more clear cut back then before they did lots of because right now they do dynamic pricing for where certain countries are. It's cheaper in like Turkey to buy a sub than it is to buy a sub here.
Right.
So right now it's not so clear cut, but back then it was like what, 2.5 grand?
Wow.
From that 1,000 subs, yeah, before tax and everything.
I think I'd wear a Mankini for 2.5 grand. How long did you wear it for? Like that's.
I ended up only actually wore it for like an hour and a half. I think I did a full send stream, and it was like the final hour. I'm going to do it in the Mankini because it's not something I really wanted to do.
Amazing. I mean, but I mean that's just one of many things. Ivy is asking if you still possess the Mankini. You should put that up for like some type of, I don't know, an auction, or frame it.
Well, no. So I said I'd never make the agreement again. I said I'd never do it again because I never wanted to wear a Mankini in the first place. But for ages they've been asking for a Mankini stream again. They've been asking for a hot tub stream again. So I made the agreement last month that if we hit 1,000 subs again at any point, it's an ongoing agreement. I will do a Mankini hot tub stream because the first Mankini stream was just me in a Mankini. But so now there's the agreement. If we hit 1,000 subs again, I'll do a Mankini hot tub stream. It's
brilliant.
It's there in the open.
Wow, I mean, you've mentioned mental health quite a few times, but then when you're able to do that, and I use humor as a way of masking or avoiding where my head is at, or trying to win myself back over into a better place and things like that. But I would imagine like this must be really confidence boosting and really empowering for you, and having this community which allow you to be yourself, and you're having so much fun. This, Twitch must help you with your confidence and mental health and things like that.
Yeah, sorry, we've just got some bots I'm just banning in the chat.
Oh,
because
yeah,
we've not come across this too much. There we go. Bye. The early mod sat here on screen. Hey, yeah, I've never seen 5 come through like that.
Wow.
But yeah, sorry, can you repeat?
That must be so good. Like, has it helped you with your confidence and stuff like that, or has confidence never been a problem for you?
I've always been stupidly confident, and I say that like I will leap into an idea without really considering it, and then I have to have the confidence to back that up. Like that's
in that way you push yourself, don't you? Like you're in too deep by that stage. Yeah, I can relate to that.
My confidence has always been there. Like I will confidently do it, but then half the time I will have that upfront confidence, and then kind of be like, "Hang on a minute, what have you done here? Like, well, why have you done this?" And then I have to like follow through with that confidence. But yeah, Twitch is yeah.
So I want another funny story, another funny memory of Guddah now in the chat. And while we do, let's talk about this year. So we've talked about a lot of fun. And you getting into it and finding your groove, finding yourself, your authentic self. this year, and then when you suddenly go full time, as we said at the start of the interview, when you suddenly go full time, it adds a whole other pressure, doesn't it? Because suddenly you've got commitments, and it's the same with anybody who goes full time into music. Suddenly it's no longer an amazing hobby that you're taking you to all of these crazy places and giving you all these amazing experiences. Now you've got to pay the rent. Now you've got to feed yourself with this, and that flips everything. And that isn't easy, is it? So this, like, I'm interested in the difference between the fun times and some of the pressures that you've experienced this year.
The biggest thing is, yes, I went full time and went into that, but I was still recovering from my mental health breakdown. That's the biggest thing. Like, it's only about a month ago that I finally, it took about 11 months for me to finally feel like I'm past that and to start being progressive. I literally stumbled through the first 11 months, like,
wow,
trying to do this, trying to do that, feeling the pressure of needing to pay my bills. And there was points I nearly threw the towel in. I made a promise to my partner that if it wasn't somewhat viable after 6 months, I would get part-time work, and it wasn't. Then we made a promise about another 8 months, and it still quite wasn't. And then as I was trying to get work, I couldn't get work. My partner, honestly, if it wasn't for her, I still wouldn't be doing this. I was like, look, I can't break this promise to you. And she was like, no, you can. I want you to. I don't want you to go back to work. I don't want you to throw in the towel and get a full-time job because you've made it this far.
Oh, wow. That's
so
lush. That's lush.
Yeah, it's incredible. I genuinely, like, the entire journey. I'm sorry to segue here. The entire journey has been possible because of my partner through there. When I first started, we lived in a 1-bedroom flat, and it was literally a bedroom, a living room, a kitchen, and a toilet and a hallway. And I took up probably 50% of that living room by the end of the first year because my setup just grew. So I'm sat here with all these lights on the walls, and she's literally sat the other side of the room against the other wall. And she'll walk in and strobes will start going off, and she's just stood there, lights flashing in her face. I'm like, there's not many people. Yeah, she's a keeper. There's not many people in this world that would put up with that for so long. And all the way through, everything we've done, like even now, I tried to, when we moved in here 2 years ago, because we moved to a bigger flat so I could have my own room. The first thing I did when we moved in here was like, can I move into the living room? It sounds stupid, but can I put my setup in the living room? She was well against it. That was a big no. Like, but then after 2 years, like, that room gets far too warm for me because of all my equipment and stuff. And now I'm in the living room. So I can just hear her laughing in the distance.
It's great seeing how much appreciation there is for Emma in the chat here as well. And somebody said earlier on when I was asking for favourite memories, Emma streams are great. So she's played a role. I mean, that's, you know, she's had to get used to you being a personality, being known to a community of thousands of people around the world now. So has she played quite a strong role? And excuse my ignorance, you know, on this. So does she come on to the streams and stuff like that?
Not as much as I would like. Not as much as I would like. Yeah, not as much as I would like. I've been trying to slowly coerce them more to come join me because I'll be straight up and honest, and this is one thing I've done the entire time. I will be straight up and honest. It's good for the look. It's having that connection with someone in real time on screen makes it more relatable to the viewer. And people love to see that. It's not just me doing what I'm doing. They see that connection I have with someone else, and they have that connection with her as well. And I genuinely believe it's really healthy for the stream. I wholeheartedly believe that. And I'll be honest about that. There's no point in hiding that.
I think it's also a reflection of professionality and a person who you are when you're holding down a relationship for so long. Like, I was told, this is a little bit of a segue, but it's really similar with, I have a business relationship with Billy Bunter. And I was training him to walk up mountains. We were doing the 3 Peaks for his mental health charity. And he said, do you know what? There's something about you that made me know that I could work with you. And that's because you've been in a relationship for over 20 years and you're a family man and you can be trusted. And I think there is that kind of authenticity. And that's no shade on people who can't hold down relationships, who are single or anything like that. But there is an appeal of someone who is happily settled with somebody who makes them happy and they make them happy. Like, I think it definitely would have appeal to a stream. It's the reason why her name came up straight away when I was asking for, you know, kind of memories and stuff like that. So I totally agree with you on that. And I do think, you know, it gives you, it shows another side to you yet again, really. And I think it's great, you know, like, as you say, like, you know, the most important thing is for you to be honest. And that's all you can be really when you're putting yourself out there in the way that you do.
Yeah, I think that's been one of the key things for me in my time on Twitch as well, is I've been honest. Like even in terms of like monetization and stuff and earning money, people have asked me questions and I will explain it on stream because there's nothing to hide. It's not like I'm a business and you're paying for my time. It's you're supporting me in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I have nothing to hide in that sense. If you ask me, I will answer that within reason. Obviously, there's certain things you do need to, but in terms of being open about everything, I'm more than happy to share that because if it wasn't for you guys supporting me, I would not be doing what I'm doing. So I've got nothing to hide in that sense. Nothing whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think this whole thing, like Twitch has got that sorted. Like there is Patreon, there are other things. There's OnlyFans, like there are other models.
Don't give them any ideas.
There are other models that exist, but I think that whole idea of people wanting to support you. And I had this thing, so I don't know if you can relate to this. Like with Patreon, I thought Patreon would be like the savior for one more thing when I first started, but I found it was way more complex than that. And if I found like kind of friends of mine that supported me for a couple of months and then cancelled their subscription, I'd be too scared to bring it up with them or anything like that. And it caused me a lot of mental health issues. Like it really riled me, like, and my anxiety. Sometimes I go for about 6 months without checking Patreon because I don't want to see. I don't want to see. So I find that the whole transactional thing and talking about it, I think honesty is the best way because you approach it head on. You talk about it and you're honest about it, and then maybe you're just a better businessman or you have a bit more business acumen. But did you have to get over that, or did the Twitch community kind of just make sure that you were cool with it?
I'm still not over it. I still never am. I still never will be comfortable. Like, yes, the entire relationship has been kind of transactional in that sense where people have paid to support me if through their choice. And now it's my job. I should be better at pushing that. I'm not. I say it every time. I'm like, it still feels really weird trying to ask you to support me, to pay me. My whole idea when I went full time was I'm just gonna do enough that I hope you guys will support me. I'm not gonna say, hey, this is what I need to earn. Help me here and do this because that's not me. That's not why I love Twitch. The
Yeah.
whole thing is originally, and it still is. When I first went full time, it was like, I'm just gonna do enough that I hope you guys feel like you can support me and pay me for my time. And that's
Just
the
a
way
bare minimum.
no,
Just gonna do
no,
enough.
no. I did far too. I went the opposite way and
I
did
know.
far too much in the hopes that people will pay me for the entertainment I bring, and that's not a healthy way to go about it. But it's still really weird about, hey, I'm doing this, pay me, support me. I can't get over that. It's my job, but I can't get over that being weird of asking people to support me monetarily without it. I'm never still totally comfortable with that, especially in the economy as it stands right now. If the
Yeah.
economy was in a lot better position, I probably would feel a lot more comfortable like that. But it's still
Yeah.
really weird knowing people are struggling and I'm asking people to support me and donate to me, and it's really weird. It's really
Yeah.
weird.
It is. It is really, really weird, and it's not a comfortable thing. But like somebody said earlier on in the comments, you've saved them money from going out clubbing. You've been able to provide a musical experience and inspire people without them going out and spending loads of money on club entrance, drink and all of the trappings of going out. So you probably save people money, or maybe people don't pay for streaming services because they're so involved in Twitch. So the money that they might spend on, let's say, Disney, Netflix, Amazon, and all of these other things that we watch telly on now, they get their entertainment from Twitch. So their budget for telly or viewing or entertainment is spent in that type of way. I find it really awkward, but then whenever I have these type of conversations, if I speak to somebody, people come up at a festival, it's like, oh, I support you on Patreon. It's like, oh, sorry, I don't really do much for my Patreon support. It's like, I don't do it for any incentive. I do it because I
Yeah.
want to see you thrive. And that's always, it's the most humbling thing that anybody can ever say to you or anything. It just turns me into mush. And this is what we're talking about here, really, isn't it?
The beautiful thing with Twitch is that everyone can support differently. And if you try and hold one single person, or if you try and hold them all to support in the same way by saying like everyone needs to subscribe, that's never going to work. The beautiful thing is one person can go, oh, I've not been out tonight, I've not been to the club, here's the money I would have spent at the club.
Yeah,
They
chip in
can
a
do that,
tenner
but
or
then
something like
that
that.
that person who might not be paying for that subscription to Disney or something, they can do that. They can all contribute in a way that works for them. And that's the beautiful thing is I as much as it pays my bills, I couldn't care that everyone is not supporting monetarily. That's not what it's about whatsoever. It's if you can support, amazing. If you can't, just thank you for coming through and watching me. That in itself, having that connection of being able to talk and play is why I do what I do.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done some of the streams I did with 20 viewers, like the 40-hour stream I did back in 2020, 2021. I could not have done that if I had like 20 viewers. The fact that there were people there to talk the entire time, just have fun and different people rolling through, that's what I love. And if people want to support that, they can do. And if not, then cool. Thank you for being there. That's the main thing.
Yeah, definitely. You're also part, like, there's another aspect of Twitch, and this is something that you're kind of rebuilding, is the kind of community aspect and getting, kind of lots of different streamers kind of together in a group where it's united by breakbeats and stuff like that. So tell me a bit more about that, because I know that that's your kind of rebooting that, as it were, aren't you?
Yes, I've not really put it out there officially. It was supposed to happen this week, but more important things popped up, and I needed to dedicate my time to organising this fundraiser Catch 22. But yeah, so quick backstory. Back in 2021, I created a Twitch team called UBB, United by Breakbeat. Um, but that was out of a necessity for wanting everyone who played drum and bass to have a home. Because there was places for people who played drum and bass to have a home, but the people who ran these places only wanted drum and bass, and I didn't like that. I wanted to offer a home to anyone who played drum and bass and more. And it was
Yeah.
never supposed to be a team. It was always supposed to just be like a collective of people who played drum and bass. They might not always play drum and bass, but if you play drum and bass, I wanted you to have a place to call home and to connect with people, to connect these corners of the community. And I did have intentions of things to do, but it was never meant to be a team. It was always meant to be like a umbrella over the community, is why that's the term I was saying at the time.
Yeah.
And as time has gone on, we grew massively. And I know a lot of people would disagree with me and say I should be proud of things, but I'm not proud of how things went in terms of never following up on anything I ever did. I'm proud of what we created and allowed people to have this space. Don't get me wrong there. But in terms of what I actually did with it, I'm not proud of that because life got in the way. It's not something I hold in myself as a detrimental manner. It's not something I beat myself up on, but I'm not proud of what I did with it. But now times have changed and certain people have left the platform and left other teams to rot, basically. It's I'd be stupid not to turn my focus to that and change that umbrella into an actual team because there isn't really that anything like that in the drum and bass community now. So that's why, as I mentioned before, we'll talk about it more in the coming weeks. I'm going to be relaunching, not rebranding, but relaunching the team in an actual team manner to do things right, to do it right by myself as well, like to feel proud
Brilliant.
about that.
No, I totally rate and respect that. And sorry if I've kind of revealed a little bit more than you had planned to reveal in this interview there, and it was kind of plans. But I think that's great. It's really, really important, especially from my point of view as a new Twitcher or streamer in that type of way, of knowing that there's a wider network of people who might be interested or have the same interests and stuff. This is how communities grow, really, and support each other. And again, seems very indicative of how the whole platform works and how everywhere else seems to be about how many numbers, and it's all about yourself and yourself and yourself. And like the first advice that I ever give to anybody when I'm doing college talks and stuff on promotion and stuff is big up other people, gas up other people, because that way it's the same as like the attitude that you put out, you will eventually get back. And I think
Mhm.
that seems indicative of, or Twitch seems to prioritize that a hell of a lot more than any other platform.
The community does. The discoverability is terrible on Twitch, and that's one of the reasons why. That's why one of the reasons why I created UBB was to connect. It's a bit better now with all the tags we can have, but there was no way to find other drum and bass streamers apart from word of mouth, really. And that
Right.
that's the thing for me is I'm very grateful to have been given, not necessarily given, but to have the platform I have. My platform is your platform. If I can shout you out and spread the word about you, that's what I want to do. I want to support as much as I can because I know how hard it is to be in that position and not be able to be discovered.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's hundreds and hundreds of people now, so it's not so. I've been trying to reel it in a bit because I don't want to oversaturate it, just shouting every single person out all day, every day, because um, wasted effort. I think it doesn't have the same effect as if I take a moment to do it once or twice a day to say, go check this person out and try and do that. But there's only so much power I have in that sense.
Yeah, well, especially when you're trying to mix. How many hundreds of tunes in so many hours? I mean, it's unbelievable the amount. I find that you're able to reply to comments while you're just talking. But how many tunes in an hour? How many tunes have you maxed in an hour? It's at least, I want to say
My
100,
personal,
but it's probably more. It's probably more like
oh,
three.
my personal best is 174 in an hour. But that was messy. The biggest one I'm proud of is 150. The
Wow.
150 tuners in an hour. I was proud of that one because that was really good. The 174 tuners in an hour was kind of symbolic with it being 174. But it was messy. It was messy, and that was on a New Year's Eve, and someone gifted 100 subs,
Oh,
and it just wrecked my brain. I couldn't talk. I was like, I'm trying to mix it. It broke me. It really broke me.
wow.
That's the thing. That's the thing with Twitch is like you have these people. Big up to all those who come through and support regularly. This guy, New Year's Eve, I think it was last year. This guy had never spoken in my chat. His first message was hi, and then he dropped 100 gift subs, and I was like,
Wow.
what the fuck just happened? I was just like, it broke me. It broke me. It never gets any easier. It never gets any easier.
Wow, wow. That must be so intense when you are doing these epic, like real kind of, intense sessions where normally like you wouldn't look up to engage with any chat. You might, if you were doing it in a club, you'd look at the crowd maybe, but even if you're on like 150 tunes in an hour, people are there for that experience and they're not going to walk off thinking, oh, he's not warming us up properly. They're there to hear you do that with real technical acumen and creativity. So to be able to kind of pay an eye on your community and your viewers and be able to do that. I mean, was that a skill that you've developed more recently as a streamer, or were you always like throwing loads of Andy seeing it basically and throwing everything in the mix?
The thing before Twitch, I was a really rigid DJ. I was a horrendously rigid DJ. If I ever played a proper gig, not like the residencies, if I was playing a gig, my set would be planned front to back, like meticulously. I would literally work on sets, and then every time I went to mix at home, it would be, oh, I'm going to open this playlist from this set I did before and try and perform that set. I couldn't freestyle in a sense, whereas now on Twitch I don't plan shit. Like you can't plan to do 5 hours 4 or 5 times a week. It's just really. It has really changed me as a DJ. Really, really fucking changed me as a DJ. Now
in the best possible way as well. You are properly fluent. You can just do it. You can just jump in the mix. Sometimes. And it doesn't matter.
But yeah, no. Look, I'm a bit self-detrimental sometimes, but yes, I can. It's being able to do that and adapt on the fly, and that's why I love taking suggestions. I say suggestions. We can't take requests. I love taking suggestions because it's a challenge for me. My brain, because of the way my brain works, I want to do it as fast as I can. So if I'll be in the middle of the mix, someone will make a suggestion, and I'm like, right, let's mix it, and then you've got to make it work with what's here. And that's the biggest thing, taking that challenge on of just, I'm going to play that tune next with whatever's on the decks. And that in itself, but 99 times out of 100, I can make that work. And that's just part of the skill of what I've done. It's not always a mix you'd be proud of, but being able to make it work fluently is something that's incredible. I've got a Duran Duran jungle mix. Jumanji. I wonder who that might be by.
Brilliant. All right, so there's a hidden little story behind that request for Duran Duran.
I'm pretty sure Jumanji sent me a jungle remix of Duran Duran that he's done.
Brilliant. Do you mix in key then? Do you have a do you have a system? I mean, this is advice that I just want to get from a much more.
Okay, so
yeah, go for it.
I used to just make playlists for what I was playing, but now because of the way I mix, my music is organized in a very, very tiered manner. So 5 years ago, I could have organized it a lot better than I can now because of how well the walls of drum and bass are broken between subgenres. You can't really say that's a dark liquid roller exactly anymore because it could even come over to neurofunk somehow, but still be liquid. It's like,
yeah.
But the way I organize my music, I have about 600 playlists at the moment that are subgenres. Then I have what I call the subgenre. So like deep, heavy. So say neurofunk, then there's like deep, heavy, maybe dance floor, and then inside each of them folders there are like rollers, steppers, and so on. So it could be a neurofunk deep stepper, and all them tunes in that playlist are very similar.
Right.
And I've
Right.
gone through and organized everything, so I can open a playlist and it's very similar. And then if I organize by key, I just know by the rough vibe of that playlist that anything in that playlist will be fairly similar, and I can just mix like that. And that's what allows me to mix for hours on end.
Right.
It's
Okay.
been a long process.
Organization is key, and this is something because I mean, as you know, but a lot of people in the chat won't know. It's probably the first time that a lot of them have ever even come across this channel or anything like that. But I didn't DJ for a very long time, and I was previously playing on CDs that I would scroll on, and prior to that, it was vinyl. So to come back into DJing and to be hurled into it at quite a high level, like my comeback was at Boomtown, and it was, you know, the gigs have been quite high profile, but it's like the more I organise myself, like doing stuff on Record Box, and I'm not an organisationally guy. Everything just goes to pot, and I'm not like, I will try. I might set up a spreadsheet or set up a folder with the best intentions. Within about 2 minutes, I'm gone. I've lost interest. I can't keep organised, but I have to. I have to. If I want to now come back as a DJ, playlists. I mean, I haven't got it in like, so my playlist folders are like that mad mix I did one Sunday. Bumpy shit, weird shit, stuff to drop on Scar Tip, stuff like that. So like, you know, it's my own organisation, but I did find like, there was one time when I first got my decks, 2 summers ago, my family went away and I thought, right, I'm gonna mix, but I was like, because I couldn't find the tunes and stuff. So I sat down and I spent hours organising everything, and then I had a mix, and it was the best mix ever. It's like, right,
Yeah.
organisation, the more organised you are with your files, because it's data, all you're seeing is names. It's not like a CD with some scrolling on it or a smiley face that you did, or, so, you know, like you'd remember things by record sleeves and stuff. You have to have a more organised way. That's how we have to be with everything digital. That's why like my phone has got like about 1 gig left of storage. My laptop has as well, because you know you almost need like a day a month where you organise your data, or otherwise your life is just a complete mess. So it sounds like you're totally on top of the organisational things, and maybe that's the type of person that you are. It complements your character type or your brain, maybe. Or is this something you really have to force yourself to do?
I didn't know it. Well, I know I always said I needed to organize my music in a better way, but it was something I never really had the time for. And when I went full time, that was the first thing I did. The first 6 months of me being full time, I literally spent 3 to 5 hours a day organizing music and tagging music, because I was like, there's no better time than the present. I've always said when I had the time, I would organize it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And literally, I spent probably 3 to 5 hours a day organizing music for the first 6 months of being full time.
Wow.
Just because I know it needed to be done. But the problem is now there's just so much music coming out each week. Like even for my Monday streams where it's playing 5 hours of new music, I spend probably 12 to 16 hours on a Sunday organizing for a Monday stream, because there's just so much, and it's just
and that's literally just new releases.
That's new releases, yeah. I'm still trying to find. There's still a lot of music I need to organize in terms of my general day-to-day playing, but in terms of new release, yeah, it's part of my life, but it's part of the job. It's part of what I'm doing. Yeah. Streaming might be my full-time job, but there's so much more to it than just streaming. And it's not just organizing music. It's helping people as well. Like spending time supporting others is all part of the life. It's just my life. It's just simply my life. 24/7. Everything I do is all part of the job, effectively, I think.
Yeah, and it is, and it has to be that when you're living the lifestyle, and it does. And there's certain aspects where you don't think about any type of monetization, because it's just part of what you do and you want to do, and it's just all part of a much bigger thing, really. It's like when I had a kind of tour of lots of places at the start of the summer. My brother was just like, I hope all of these gigs are paid. It's like, well, some are, but some aren't. But if you don't, you know, like everything is a bit like dynamic pricing, like you're saying. Like there's lots of things that you can see. It's just like, no, I want to do that because that's an important thing to do, really, isn't it? And I think like the whole organization thing is that it's like a workman looking after their tools, or like anybody, you know, is that you have the things that you need to operate, and you know, it's like doing your homework or doing training if you're a sports person or something.
It's more so the like the weekly planning you do for what you have ahead. Like, yes, it's a combination of the two because it is helping organize my tools, but it's also preparation for what I'm going to do. If I didn't do that prep, then I could still do what I'm going to do, but it's not going to evolve. It's just going to happen. I need to constantly organize more to keep that in the. There's just so much music to organize, man.
An
It's never ending.
insane amount. Absolutely. So I want to wrap up because I wanted to keep this interview
Mhm.
for an hour. So I'm going to wrap up now, but I mean, what's your advice to anybody who's watching this and thinking like this? I want to do that. What is your advice? And obviously, you spent like, it's a year of you being full time, but this is 4 years, over 4 years of you being part
Mhm.
of the Twitch community and it being your life and your lifestyle. Well, what advice would I've got two questions. What advice would you give to anybody who's thinking, like, I want to do that? I want to embrace these modern roles that didn't even exist a couple of years ago. But also, what advice would you give to your younger self as well? So, first of all, just advice to anybody who's, kind of inspired by what you do. Is there
Do
anything you
it.
can think of?
Do it for yourself. That's the biggest thing in everything I've done here, and why I've seen people fail along the way because they've not done it for themselves. You have to stay true to what you're doing. If you're not true in what you're doing, especially in such an open environment like this, people know that. People spot that. If you're doing things because you don't want to do them and you think they're the right things to be done and you think they're going to work, people see that and they will not support that
It's
personally.
back to the authenticity thing again. Like,
Yeah, if
definitely,
everything
definitely.
you do needs to be because you want to do it.
Yeah.
Even me getting into a mankini, I didn't want to do it, but you want to pay for me to do it, I'm gonna do it. Fine, cool. There's, everything I've done is because I've wanted to do it, and that is the biggest key. But also at the same time, don't look at what other people are doing and expect it to work for yourself. Same thing, part and parcel. Because if it works for them, but you don't think that's going to work for you, but you see it working for them, that's not going to work for you just because it's working for someone else. You have to do it because you want to do it. That's the biggest thing. And everything I've done is because I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Even getting naked on my birthday and doing a birthday suit stream last year, I did it because I wanted to do it. No one else wanted me to do it. I did it because I wanted to do it, and that's all part of it.
I love that.
And
That's
and
brilliant.
advice for my younger self. That is an interesting one.
If
That
you want
is
to
an
think about that,
interesting.
I mean, I want to big up the chat while you're thinking about that. I'll give you some time and stuff, and I'll do the presentery thing, and I'll have a little chat and pad things out, and let you really kind of think about that. And big up everybody who's been in the chat. It's been consistent. Like, there's been a good 40 odd of you, bunch of you on YouTube as well. I don't even know why I bother streaming on Facebook. I really don't. But that doesn't matter. Like, thank you to everybody who's got involved in this and supported Guddah and been part of this. And if you're unaware of one more thing until this point, please give us a follow and stuff. There'll be lots of live interviews. There's even one tomorrow with Plasma Tour, hours before his debut album drops. And I love capturing that moment of speaking to an artist just before their debut album drops. It's a significant
It's a
moment.
banger
So,
album.
yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? So we'll be doing another live interview tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So thank you to everybody who's got involved. Does anybody have any questions for Guddah while I'm still kind of padding it out? Throw them into the chat. And yeah, have you had a thought about any kind of advice that you might give your younger
Yes and
self?
yes and no. The problem is I can't. There would be no advice I can give my younger self because it would, if I did, it would never lead me to this point here now. No,
Totally.
if there's nothing. Yes, there are stupid things I've done in my life and moments I should have realized when to get out of certain situations and been more aware about things around me. But ultimately, everything I've done in my life has led me to this moment being here. When is my next all jungle stream? Tomorrow, actually, 3 p.m. tomorrow. Funnily enough, but no. Yeah, just be more careful. I did some stupid shit. A lot of people don't even know this. You might not even know this. I spent 6 weeks in prison back in 2015,
Wow.
through stupid mistakes. Yeah, I was never sentenced for anything, but through stupid mistakes. And just be a bit more cautious about what you're doing. Take them steps in your life, and maybe stop to think for a moment sometimes, because that's the one thing. It's a great thing as well as a bad thing. Is sometimes I don't think about things, and that's been a bit detrimental at points, but also it's been incredibly great. So it's knowing when to do the right thing and to do and the wrong thing is happening around you.
Yes, yeah, I can relate to that. You've dropped a huge cliffhanger there, and I don't know if you want, I don't know if you want to reveal more or not. And
I've spoken about it on Twitch before. It was just it was a stupid thing that happened at the time, and I was stuck in the middle of a bad situation. And because the guy I was co-accused with someone had threatened to kill someone. So when it went to magistrates, it was too serious for magistrates. So it went to Crown, and we were in Leicester prison for 6 weeks. If you ask any,
wow, I bet that
if
was
you
an
ask
eye
any,
opener.
do you know the funniest fucking thing? The funniest fucking thing about that was I didn't know there was a prison in the middle of Leicester. And on the Saturday, on the Saturday before, I went to a mate's house and he was like, "Oh, yeah, there's a prison at the end of the road because it's in the middle of Leicester, there's big brick walls." And I was in there on Wednesday, 5 days later.
Wow.
That's what I mean. I can't. That is part of the experience that made me who I am. And it was a stupid thing. And if you ask all my mates in a million years, they would never, ever, ever, ever believe that would have happened. But it's
Wow.
sometimes you gotta realize you're in a bad situation and get out of it before it's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. You do.
It's a
You
big
really do.
bombshell. I don't really talk about it
Wow.
much, but it's because it's not that serious. That's a thing off the bucket list, if anything. That's why I joke about it now.
Do a
But
bit
hey,
of time in chokey. Wow. But it's, I mean, that's like, just a piece of life advice. Like, you do make one wrong decision. And I've got a friend who's in prison who just was defending himself and just jawed somebody. But it was a really, really, it was, the punch was too good. Like, it was far too good for the situation that he was in. And he has to live with those consequences. And he's doing a long, long, long time. So these, decisions like that, that's, you don't, and it's easy to say no regrets, but like, your life can change in an instant like that. And I think it's great to hear that, you've come from that situation where it must have been really, really low to where you are now within 10 years as well. That's amazing. I saw somebody asking for some advice. I want to go back through the chats, but I can't. Somebody was asking for some advice on DJing. I don't know if I'm the right person to ask because I literally I don't mix in key, I don't organize things, I don't mix in genre all over the shop.
But that's
But
that's advice in itself. That's being true to yourself and doing what you want to do with DJing. There
yeah.
is no right or wrong way to DJ.
And I
Just
see
because,
people
oh,
like yourself, like really, really accomplished drum and bass DJs who stay within the genre and are amazing and technically gifted. It's like, I don't even want to be part of that. I can't, like, there are people out there already doing that at a level that I know I wouldn't be able to do. So I'm, so yeah, I respect the art of DJing within genre or being professional too much to be professional myself. I can't find the question because there's been so many chats. I'm trying to go through it here.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
Tranquil Ghost, wasn't it?
yeah.
But now my scroll
You
thing
need a bigger
wouldn't
chat.
work. I do need a bigger chat. But what would
Yeah,
your advice be?
practice, practice, practice. That's the only way to get better at DJing is just practice, practice, practice. There's no goal for you to hit. There's yes, you see these people doing this and other people doing this. There is no goal for you to hit. The only way to get better with DJing is practice. Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah.
The only way. It's the only way. I've got better in the past 4.5 years on Twitch than I did in the 11 years before Twitch.
Wow,
I've
I
learned
bet.
more
Yeah.
and I've got better simply because I've DJed like 4,000 hours in the past 4.5 years on Twitch.
Wow.
I well, I've streamed that long, and near enough 99% of my streaming has been me DJing. It's the only way to get better is just practice. Just the only way, simply.
Yeah.
And I say that, but push yourself. Don't be afraid to push yourself because you can mix and get stuck into what you're doing. But if you're not pushing yourself and allowing yourself to be bad, trying to be perfect is never going to get you anywhere. That's the greatest thing I've learned with Twitch and DJing is people love it when I fuck up because they see
Yeah.
I'm pushing myself, they see I'm having fun, and they see I'm trying to do different stuff. It's just practice, 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 practice. There are a lot of bad DJs on Twitch.
I got sidetracked by that as well. And they probably earn more than I do.
But it's all subjective, right? And
Massively.
the thing is, I found with Twitch is it's given people the opportunity to DJ to an audience after very, very. There's people who never DJed before who have streamed their journey of DJing of learning to DJ on Twitch. I could never do that in a million years. Like the reason I've done what I've done is because I had this 10, 11 years um of DJing beforehand to then come in and take that to the next level.
Yeah. There's a hell of a lot of vulnerability if you're actually starting your entire journey and going through all the clangs and everything in front of an audience. But
Oh mate, I still clang every day of the week.
I mean, like real train wrecks. Those first couple of mixes that you do, like I was teaching my son how to mix the other day, and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like when you haven't got any type of reference point, it's all over the shop. Like, it doesn't take long the minute you're into it.
I will be forever grateful I learned on vinyl. Like, don't get me wrong, I love how accessible DJing is now, but having that ability of what I learned from mixing on vinyl at first and being able to translate that into DJing on anything now, I'm forever grateful I have that skill.
Yeah, definitely.
Because a lot of DJs now, if the tempo is not set right, and the sync button, if the tempo is not set right and the sync button doesn't work, they lose it. They don't know how to get out of that situation without just fucking chopping to the next song and hoping it works.
Yeah. And then I mean, I love the technology. I love loops. And that's, that's how if I was trying to mix a lot of tunes in an hour, or I was taking suggestions, not requests, I would loop out on a bit where there's no key or no kind of potential for key clash. And then like loops have got me out of so much trouble, and also created like live remixing. Then especially if you've got 3 or 4.
That's what's changed me as a DJ is beat jump. I don't know how it's not always accessible to everyone, and I'd already had the ability to beat jump on previous equipment, but the Prime 4 really changed beat jump for me. Beat jump basically allows you to set your parameter 1, 2, 4, 8, 6 beats, and you can jump forward and back fluently. So say you're playing a track. And I call it live looping in a sense that I can just beat jump 4 beats and I can constantly like press that button to loop effectively. That's one of the many uses. But I can also, you come into a breakdown, I can skip 64 beats and just go straight to the next phrase. And it's the way I see it is hot cues are static. You set a hot cue where you want it and you have to hit it where you want it to play from. Whereas with beat jump, it's fluid. I can get to any point of a song in a matter of seconds by changing the parameter, and I have full control over that song and what I want to do with it. It's totally changed my DJing, totally.
Yeah, my friend's got it on a tractor controller. I don't have it on my Pioneer one. But yeah, no, I could imagine that. Then you can completely reverse a whole arrangement of a song and things like that. Really,
it's opened up some really cool creative things for me.
Awesome. You have opened up a lot of cool creative things for me as well by engaging with me and introducing me to Twitch. And this whole year of knowing you has been amazing. And thank you very much for this time and stuff like that. And it's been a really great chat. I could carry on geeking out over DJ tech, but my tea's cooking downstairs and stuff like that.
I need to make dinner as well, so.
This has really been amazing. This is the first proper live interview that I've done via Twitch in this type of way. I did a little tester one before Sun and Bass. Obviously, I was doing the live stuff for Sun and Bass and stuff, but at this kind of time has made me think that this is definitely something that there's something that I could do on Twitch, and that there's an audience for it and interested in interviews and stuff like this. So this has been great for many, many ways, but mainly great to tell your story or hear your story and make sure that people outside of Twitch understand all of the cool things that you do.
Well, thankfully there's no fan in the background this time. So if you want to use this for other content, then crack on.
That was when you were talking about rogue noises. It was the noises. That's right. It was a really,
Yeah, I remember.
I couldn't remember that. Yeah, it was an edit that I was trying to do, and there was a really weird noise. Big up Diligent Fingers, just seen him there. Go on. Cool. Thank you so much, Guddah. I want to wrap this up professionally, so I want to big up everybody in the chat and everybody, and just big up you. Thank you.
Big up to you. Sorry, I was getting distracted by something because I'm actually, for the first time in all your streams, I'm going to get you to raid out. I'm going to send you something in the Zoom chat for you to type into the chat.
Oh, right. Okay. Is this something I can do on Restream, or do I have to go onto my Twitch now? This
Or
is
you might have
brilliant. I've never done a raid out before.
I've been
This is
trying to
a
get you to do it
great
every
way.
time. You just end the stream. That's the beautiful thing about Twitch, right? It's the beautiful thing about Twitch and why it's worked so much is because when you end your stream, you can raid someone, and you can take all your viewers, all your listeners over to another person, and it just makes it's just so good. Where's the Zoom chat?
Okay, so where do I do this now?
Right.
Who should I raid?
In your chat.
Who should we raid?
I've typed it in the Zoom chat for you if you want. I'm going to send you over to Drum and Basics because he was here earlier. Having listened. Trox is a legend as well.
Yeah, and said something really cool as well.
No, we're not raiding Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Well, it's Donald Trump on Twitch. No way. Right. Okay. So here I am now. There's a lot of things going on. I don't know if my laptop is going to take this. It's saying low system resources may affect your audio quality. Right. Here we go.
Right. It's fine. We're looking good.
Raid, Drum and Basics.
Yo,
there we go. Has that happened?
No.
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 How did that not happen then? Animated.
Okay, so you might have to just type it in the chat. It'll be a VOD. Dilly, big it to you, my man. That's another legend.
Hang on. Is it raid at Drum and Basics?
It shouldn't be at, but you should just be able to /raid, and it should bring up a prompt.
No, it's not bringing up any prompts. Is that because I don't follow? Right, raid.
No.
Raid channel. So send viewers. There we go.
Yeah.
So,
Do
I keep them in the brackets?
Yeah, just type Drum and Basics now, and you should be good to go. Mad love to everybody locked in here, by the way. Thank you for listening.
There we go. Is that going to happen?
I don't know. Have you pressed enter?
Yeah, I pressed enter. It's not even coming up on the chat, though. See, this is how new I am. How wedded. How can I do this? Or is it... No, because it's... I really want to raid people. Hang on.
Is it turned on?
Is it turned on? Right, hold on. What is it? Right, if I go on to the stream management, whispers, notifications... Oh, man, I'm feeling the
You just want your chat.
Just my chat.
I forgot you. Sugar, see, mad love to you, yeah. Right, if you type /raid, does it bring up an extra box above the chat? Like, with information about...
Yeah.
Then if you click enter, so you've selected that raid usage, then type Drum and Basics.
Yeah, but it's got raid and then in brackets channel, and I did.
If you click enter, then it should bring that up.
Yeah.
Then you should be able to type
Missing
Drum and
Basics.
Basics.
So raid, Drum and Basics.
I'd love to have a video.
It's just not happening. I don't. Is it? Do I have to follow Drum and Basics? Is
No.
That so? No.
No, you don't.
Wow, there's a lot of new followers. I was on 90 something. I'm on 120 odd now. Oh, I really want to do this. Chat to your mum. I can't do this. There's a massive part of me that just wants to press stop because I'm doing the same thing over, but it's not even coming up in the chat, is it?
Yeah, right. So if you copy paste what I put in the Zoom chat and put that into your Twitch chat, that should work. That should work. I just tested it on my channel. It works.
Yeah, it's not working. It's not coming up. It's not coming up on my stream chat or anything.
Right. Okay. You've got Twitch. Right. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. You've got Twitch settings open. Oh, right. You got your dashboard open. Welcome to tech support with Guddah live on Twitch.
Oh no! How do I do this? Like, this is how new and shit I am at this. Do I click on one more thing? Right. Okay. Create a dashboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this for you. If you on your dashboard and you go down to community on the left hand side.
Community. Yep. Okay,
I've
got it. Yep.
Go to roles manager.
Roles manager.
Yep. You should see me there. Am I there? Good.
Yep. Yeah, you are.
If you click on the plus next to my name.
Yep.
And make me an editor.
There you go. This is empowerment right here. Add role. So is that what I do? There we go. Oh, so yeah, your editor and your moderator. There we go.
There we go.
So now is this going to be? Is it? Because I guess when you raid, that's it. Then it's over. Bye.
Do you see it at the top of your chat now? No. So you'll raid, but you still need to end your stream. Nice teamwork.
Okay. All right. Have you done the raids now
I have.
already?
If you look at the top of your chat, it's. If you look at the top of your, you should have your Twitch chat. I don't know if you can see it.
I've got so many screens in front of me. This is awful. My chat. So we got King, a bit of a wait to
Do you
raid.
see at the top? Do you see at the top of your chat? Does it say 29 viewers are ready to raid?
No, it doesn't. Oh yes, right. One more thing is raiding Drum and Basics with 29 raiders. There we go.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So do I go
Team-
and leave or
No. You're no. Just leave it. I'll sort it out. You can say goodbye. You can do your ending.
schooling. This is my ending. Thank you so much that everybody's been involved. Huge love to you, Guddah. This has been amazing. This has been so
Thank
cool.
you, Dave.
Thank you. And we'll be back 9 o'clock tomorrow. I probably won't be raiding anybody. I need to learn how to do that properly. Thank you, everybody. This has been amazing. Enjoy your evening. There we go. Raid away.
Raid away. Bye,
Raid
guys.
away. Ciao. Brilliant. I don't want to stop it now until everybody has successfully gone over to Drum and Basics. Or
Right.
can I just
Now
press stop now?